Hey everyone, all of you who wanted to hear about my experience with Brent Bruning, here it is. First, when I met him, I did not even want to do anything with him. I was thinking he was arrogant and he was holding his magnifier and was so confident. And to be honest, when I first saw him, I was thinking, no, I don't want to do anything with future tellers or because this is what I was thinking about him. Reading the poems, this is what I learned when I was a kid. And later on, when I became a Christian, we had a really strict community when you could not listen anyone who is a future teller, astrologist, and those type of people who are telling the future, because the Bible also say do not do it because then God will hate you. Okay, this is a free version, but I will share the Bible verses. So our church was really strict about that. So, and even though when I started, I was 23 years old when I became a Christian, I burned up all of my New Age books, even a Silva Mind Control, because that was absolutely against what my church did. When I saw Brent at Mind Valley University 3 years ago here in Estonia, Tallinn, while I had a long journey from being a Christian and here at Mind Valley University, which is a long journey, because it wouldn't happen if I still stay in that community. That's a different video. But I was still like praying like a protection around me because I did not want anything that is so ungodly. And it's funny now, but that time wasn't that funny. So I was thinking people who are lining up, they are also part of his show and they want to convince other people to do the hand reading. But when I come down again to the bathroom, he was still there hours and hours later, and people are still online. I was thinking, that's weird. He's fooling people. I needed to go to the bathroom and I have to pass him by because he was right there where the lady's going to the bathroom. And I overheard a couple of things, and I just don't like when people fooling others. And I had a thought. I want to prove this guy wrong. It's not to tell other people like this guy wrong, but just for myself, because I really was skeptical and I didn't trust him. At the end, I decided to do the handprints just to reveal the truth. And when he looked at my prints, he didn't tell the future, but he revealed my true identity, who I really was, my passions, my gifts, and my purpose. Actually, that hit me really hard, and I was crying like a baby because I realized while I wanted to prove him wrong, actually, he was right. This is who I am. This is not the future. He's not telling your future, but he's reading the map of your nervous system. That time I didn't know. I just later on when I learned more about him. And the lines, I still feel the chill. I realized, wow, like that, how amazing, like how God created the body. Like they can see what happened in our life just from the prints in our palms and fingers. And since that, I really a believer believer of Brent work. So how did he help me to shift my life? I did a 90 minutes hand analysis 1 year later, and I just really loved the result, and I really felt, yes, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. And I didn't think about like we touch every areas in our life because I was thinking I'm already okay. I came from a really abusive family, and later I was a really abusive husband who beat me up 3-4 times a week, really brutally. And in my childhood, we were really abused mentally, emotionally, also physically by my mother. And we were so many times beaten up so badly, but our clothes covered those parts. She knew how she beat us up so the teachers cannot see it, but we were wearing all the time these big long blisters all on our body, and we were bruised up. And many times we were locked in a dark room for hours and sometimes days. We don't even know how long. We had no food many times, so no water in a house, like fridge or microwave, forget that. We did not even have that. We had to go far away for water. So I came from this family. I already healed myself through God, and I was thinking I'm on a good path. But when I met Brent and I did a hand analysis, the longer one, 90 minutes, and I decided to do the shift, my life turned around again, certain areas in my life. The one thing I really fight it still was my love category. I did not want any love in my life. I had so many heartaches, and I just didn't want. I was single over 4 years and I felt like I'm free, I'm traveling, I'm doing my stuff. I felt like I'm happy. But through the shift, we did the shadow work. We went back to childhood, and from that, certain age groups, like what really happened in our life, what traumas we had, what things that really hurt us. And that was like a vision board, but in a negative way. And then we created a beautiful, the opposite, basically, and about our feelings, like a vision board, but that was something like the feelings. We went with the feelings, like when we did not feel love at all, but if we had any time in our life when we actually felt good, even in a relationship, started out good and then went downhill. During the shift, even I was fighting him. I was fighting the process, because I just told him, understand, I do not want any relationship. I was burned so many times. I do not want. But I realized that was also in my shadow. That was a pattern in my life. And even though I was fighting with basically like nails and teeth, like do not want to, but during the shift, something cracked open deep inside me. Something beautiful blew out of it. That was deep inside my heart. I finally opened up. Before, I felt like my heart is like closed up completely, and after the shift is opened up to love again. It happened in a short time, but didn't happen like that was recognizable. It wasn't. That was, I met someone and I was thinking this is a best relationship ever. But what happened, because I was during the shift, I started realizing the pattern. Like it started out so beautifully, but something was off. And because I already have experience with my shadows, I could go back and see, wow, this is a shadow, something is going on. And really soon I figured out he was also a big liar and cheated on me. And I could see the same pattern that was 15 years ago in my life. So I could close down that relationship. So I didn't need to be in a relationship for years and years to finally figure out, because in a short period of time I already recognized the pattern. And then I met someone after this, shortly after this. When you finally come to your realization and then you don't let that past following you and mess up your life, then you shift and you just become a different person. You make different decisions. You choose different partner. And we are together 1.5 years. Now 8 months even live together. This is a really nice, loving relationship. And I never thought this would be possible in my life, because I didn't want anyone in my life. And also other things changed in my life. Health. I never thought I can ride more than 2 or 5 miles in a really calm, flat neighborhood. But now I can do it for 40-mile ride, 60 kilometers. After 50, experience this love, and my body is still capable and able to do this intense bicycling. I live in Colorado, so many times we have to go up hills. that's something amazing. So I highly recommend everyone Brent Bruning hand analysis to do the shift, do the full hand analysis, not just the 5 minutes, because that can completely transform your life. He will have 2 sessions. One of them is on Tuesday, tomorrow, 28th, 5:30, and on a 30th, on Thursday, 5:30 at the same spa hotel. And I will share that too. I highly recommend to everyone to do the shift. And if you're still skeptical, I always say, just go ahead and try to prove him wrong. So this is for today, and see you next time.